Good morning, lifestyle is healthers. How are you on this woohoo Wednesday morning? The birds are tweeting. It's not raining. It's not sunny yet, but I'm hopeful. I've got a ton of washing to do, and I hope to get it outside. Fingers crossed. It's supposed to be nice later on. So, what I want to do is just really concentrate on the two questions that those of you who responded to my post this morning have answered. So you're looking for answers to dry eyes and rosacea, two very interesting issues and really annoying and frustrating if you are a sufferer. And I have to say that I do struggle with one of them. Well, I don't struggle, but I do have symptoms of dry eyes and dry mouth. So I'm going to cover that one first because that was asked first by the lovely Karen. So dry eye, here's the thing. As you know by this point, any issues to do with your body and health, there is never one thing. And this is why medications don't tend to work, because initially, unless it's potluck and you happen to hit on the thing that works for you. The simple reason that there's usually a number of causes, and you can have more than one thing that sets off your symptoms. So the thing with dry eye is it can be to do with any medication that you are taking, because that is going to change how your body actually functions when it comes to the glands that produce tears and the actual messages to get those tears to the bits where we want there to be moisture. What often happens with dry eye, it can be exacerbated by smoke. So cigarette smoke or just fumes. It can also be exacerbated by certain medications, particularly antihistamines, can cause issues with dry eye big time. One of the main reasons is that it's autoimmune related. So it's often linked with arthritis. As most of you know now, osteoarthritis is not autoimmune. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune issue. So a lot of people who have issues with arthritis absolutely do have dry eye and other autoimmune issues. So I have, as most of you know now who've listened to anything that I've been doing on the lives, I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune issue whereby my body basically is attacking my thyroid gland. Not fun, but it also means that I too suffer from dry eyes. It's something called Sjogren's. It's spelt not like it sounds. So if you want to Google it, by all means do. It's spelt Sjorgren, but it's pronounced Sjogren's. And that's what I have. And I have issues with my eyes, which is oftentimes where if I'm in meetings, I have to keep I've got a cat who wants to crawl across the computer, keep taking my glasses off and just kind of letting my eyes just rest, because looking through and staring at screens actually does make things worse. Is there anything that you can do about it? Well, if you have an autoimmune issue, then as you've heard me say, your diet is absolutely crucial. We know that the link is undisputable between autoimmune issues and leaky gut. And for those of you who don't understand what leaky gut is, by all means, message me and we can have a conversation about that. But you need to be avoiding certain foods which we know make leaky gut worse. And that is gluten, most grains, dairy, corn, trans fats or vegetable oils, and for some people, for quite a lot of people, sugar too. Now, if you can avoid those things, it's going to help your autoimmune issues right across the board, whether your autoimmune issues, type 1 diabetes, whether it's rheumatoid arthritis, and all those kind of things. So will that help with your dry eye? Well, it might, but it might not. What we don't want is for it to get worse and worse and worse. So really the only solution to dry eye is to keep an eye on it. How do you know if you've got Sjogren's? It's a really good question. If you've also got dry vagina, then that's kind of a clue that it's affecting all of your body, and therefore it's more likely to be that. But unfortunately, there isn't a cure. Right, as with most things, it's about managing them. So eye drops are your best bet. And the answer with eye drops is try the ones that you feel are helpful for you. it can be very, very tempting to kind of get hooked on using eye drops all of the time. And like anything, your body is meant to produce its own tears via the tear duct. If it's not doing that so well, if you keep putting in something that does it for it, it's going to stop its own production because it doesn't think it needs to do it. So by default, when we give our body something, our body is meant to produce itself. If we give it more of it, the body then says, oh, well, I don't need to bother, right? Which means then you need to keep using them more frequently and more often. So it's never a good place to be, which is why I'm very anti, certain medications, because it actually makes things worse if you then try and come off them because your body's just stopped doing what it should be doing. So I would say use eye drops, but use them sparingly and only when you really need them. But be mindful, give your eyes a break, right? Step away from computer screens, stay away from situations where it makes it worse. So if you're like out and it's really, really windy, it's quite a good idea. I have got some glasses now. They're not particularly attractive, but I've got some sunglasses as well, where they actually kind of wrap right around. So on normal glasses, I just put them on, you can see at the side here, there's a gap, isn't there, where the wind can get through, and that can create more dry eye. So if you wear like proper wraparound style glasses, especially if you're out and about, if you're exercising, if you're on a bicycle or anything like that, and the wind is going to kind of whip away any moisture that might be there, that's a really good idea. So that is my little kind of hopefully helpful information on what is going on with dry eye. So just to recap, look at medication, make sure you're not in a smoky room, make sure you're not in a polluted environment, check if you've got an autoimmune issue. It's very likely that you got something called Sjogren's. Go check it out on Google if you want to. And eye drops will be the key. Now, the other thing that I was asked about was rosacea. And here's another one. There isn't a cure as such, but there are a number of reasons that people get it. And there's 4 different types of rosacea. Now, I'm not going to go into all different types, but you'll know what your symptoms are, what they look like. Actually, I might just quickly run through them if I've got them to hand. Let's just have a little look. No, I haven't. I thought I would got the sheet up that was giving me all 4. As most of you know, my memory is not brilliant, but you can actually look. Oh yes, it's here. I tell a lie, I have got it right. So you've got erythematological rosacea, which sounds a big gobbledygook mouthful, but basically it means that is skin discoloration, flushing, where you've got visible blood vessels. And then you've got papulopustular, I can't say that, papulopustular, right? So this is the one where you've got breakouts, right? That's kind of the one that I think of when I think of rosacea. It almost looks a little bit like acne, but that's one particular type. You've got another one, which is phymatous rosacea, which symptoms include the kind of bumpiness and like a thicker skin. And then you've got the ocular rosacea, which includes round your eyes, and that can be really, really painful and really, really uncomfortable. Now, there's a number of causes, and this is why there isn't one solution, because there's a number of causes. So it could be H. pylori. H. pylori is a gut bacteria. We all have some H. pylori in us, but we don't want to have too much. So a test from your GP can detect H. pylori. If it is that, it's a case of antibiotics. I'm not a great fan, as you know, but if you've got something in you that should not be there, then absolutely take antibiotics. Just please make sure you take probiotics with them and continue with probiotics for at least 3 weeks after you have taken them. So it could be H. pylori. So if you suspect it could be that, have a check. There's also something called Dermodex follicularum. Dermodex follicularum. Now, literally, it's a type of mite. Now, before you go, oh my God, mites, right? We all have mites and stuff on our skin. They're absolutely microscopic and you can't feel them. But For some people, and most of us have absolutely no reaction to them whatsoever. However, for some people with rosacea, it can be a reaction to those naturally occurring mites. So does that mean that you have to be extra vigilant when it comes to your skincare and go crazy scrubbing and cleaning? No, but it means that you have to make sure that you do have a good skin cleansing routine with something that is not going to create more irritation and with something that is not going to be overly drying out your skin. So a lot of us kind of think that we need to kind of dry things out, and actually the drier you make that skin, the worse the rosacea can become. So when it comes to looking at diet, this is really, really important. Make sure you're getting enough good fats in your system, right? So not rapeseed oil, not sunflower oil, not vegetable fats. Those are the guys that your body does not like and do not help any skin conditions. But the good fats that you're going to find in coconut oil, in olives, in olive oil, in nuts and seeds, in butter and ghee. Those are absolutely the fats that your body can handle. And of course, the naturally occurring fats in protein foods. So the naturally occurring fats in chicken and in oily fish and in red meat. So those are some of the things that you can look at from an oily point of view. Keep the body creating the oils. Why? Because we need the good fats to help the hormones and the cells to function. And if you want your cells to regrow and help that rosacea to disappear, we need to have enough of the right fats and enough cholesterol in our system too. Now, when it comes to food, there are certain things that we really don't want because they will definitely make things worse. Alcohol, spicy food, cinnamon-based foods, things like tomatoes and citrus fruits will also make things worse. Things like spicy peppers too, so cayenne pepper, that kind of thing. Dairy, alcohol, and of course smoking is going to make any symptoms worse. You could also be having an issue with a reaction to any kind of medication. Again, just like with the dry eye, medication can cause rosacea, particularly if you're on blood pressure pills or if you're on any kind of steroid, right? They often make things worse. Sometimes there can be a blood vessel issue, and that's often something that is genetic. But we can help a little bit by taking certain things that will help with those blood vessels. So there are certain topical creams that you can try. What you want to avoid is anything that's designed for acne that is going to dry the skin out. That's probably one of the worst things that you can do. So think about what is actually soothing on the skin. Personally, for something like rosacea, I'm a fan of using essential oils with a carrier oil. And seeing how that works for you. But your diet is really crucial. Anything that is not right internally will come out externally. So look at the state of your nails, look at the state of your hair, look at the state of your skin, and that's pretty much a good clue as to how your internal systems are functioning. Yes, there are some genetics that we can't do a lot about. So look at family members. Have they got it? Then unfortunately, the chances are that it could be a genetic issue for you as well. But don't panic if you've got a grandchild or a child who's going, oh my God, you've got it, does that mean I get it? Not necessarily. Look at lifestyle factors. Make sure you don't smoke, make sure you don't do alcohol, and try to stay away from any kind of steroid type of drugs, or look after your health so you don't need blood pressure medication. So it's really prevention so that those genes don't get switched on in the first place. It's one of those things where unfortunately you're thinking about it, and if you're anxious about it, you can create that widening of the blood vessels, which makes your skin flush, which then makes the situation worse. So actually you're thinking around how you feel about it when you're in front of people can actually make it worse. So learning how to keep your body calm and keep your mind calm, and just trying to accept that it's one of those things, and you're going to be open to trying different things. So healing essential oils, can really be very, very helpful. And if you want to have a little look, I have a PDF that if you want it, just put a comment below and say, yeah, send me the information on essential oils for skin care, and I'll be happy to do that. Also, if you suspect that you have got Sjogren's, which is brought on by an autoimmune issue, and you want to have a conversation about managing that autoimmune issue, then please do get in touch with me, because gut health and diet is number one, obviously with lifestyle too, stress management and sleep. You can't, unfortunately, I wish I could say this is the cause of it and this is what you need to do. That's what allopathic medicine tries to do. It doesn't work, which is why we get frustrated and fed up, because there is never one thing. So check if it's rosacea. Have you got any digestive issues? It could be that your body's producing too much of the hormone gastrin in your gut. So let's look at what foods you are eating. Get shut of the ones that we know cause problems. So that's tomato, citrus fruit, cinnamon, spicy foods, dairy, alcohol. Look at if you're on any medication that could make things worse, particularly steroids and blood pressure, drugs, and what you're thinking. I hope that's been helpful, folks. If you have any comments, if you're watching this on replay, can you please put #replay on here? Feel free to message me for that PDF if you want it on the essential oils, folks. And if you do have questions that you'd like me to cover in next week's live, then how about you put them in the comments as well? Because my aim is to help you as much as I can in this group, give you information that is going to help you to feel better. Because as you know, you're in here for a reason. You understand that lifestyle is health, and the daily choices you make are what will determine your health in the next year, 5 years, and 10 years. So on that note, I'm going to wish you a woohoo Wednesday. Have a great one, whatever you get up to, and I'll speak to you really soon. Bye.